When the police went and checked the phone of the woman, none of the texts could be found. But it was only because they could find the texts on the other guy's phone.
Brett Favre is accused by NBC Sports. Let me scroll up a little bit to the left. Pro Football Talk on August the 21st at
he's a
8:43 p.m.
he's a very litigious person. We need to
Gotta make sure, because sometimes they change these titles as well, RJ. They can edit it. So
Yeah.
I gotta make sure that Brett's lawyers know that this is our source. Brett Favre is accused of withholding text messages in Mississippi welfare litigation.
Yeah.
Imagine that, RJ.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Here we are.
I don't know what he's withholding, because the other ones were crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's more a volume thing than it's more a volume thing than it is a um a what he said thing. So first couple of messages were already wild, but there weren't too much, and he was claiming that the the stories are, or these the WhatsApps are being taken out of context and things of that nature. So I'm guessing that the more text they have, the more context they would be able to create. The question is, however, what do these text messages say? Is that revealed, KR?
Now, the thing is this. This is what the MDHS is alleging, according to this article by NBC Sports. Can you guys read it? The MDHS alleged
Can
in a
you
Monday.
can you zoom in a bit? It's
Zoom in a
readable.
little
It's readable, but just to make it a bit more readable.
for all the blind people out
Yeah,
there. Let's
yeah.
help.
Thank you.
The MDHS alleged in a Monday filing that Favre failed to answer any of this discovery regarding text messages exchanged with others in alleged welfare fund scam. Despite being identified as the sender or recipient of on the face of these texts, Favre objected and claimed that he could not verify many of these text messages authenticity. They describe this, they argue this in a 14-page document.
Incredible.
The discovery is a normal part. Yeah, do you guys know what a discovery is? I hope at least you know what it is. But yeah, he is specifically accused of failing to surrender text messages. In many cases, text messages are incredibly useful to the effort of discerning the truth.
Yeah.
People tend to be less guarded in such communications. Guys, what do we said in the previous show? Don't send text messages.
Yeah.
Don't
But
call as well and say, "Hey, this is Brett Favre here. Now I'm gonna snitch on myself on the phone."
yeah, it's just like the take a quick detour. The Travis Rudolph incident, former NFL player. I believe he played in the NFL as well. Who he was at home, had an argument with his girlfriend, his then girlfriend. The girlfriend messaged her brother to come and take care of him. Literally, it was written down. The brother went to get three other people. They came to his house. They started a conversation. He saw that they had firearm. Yeah,
You gotta be very specific. They came in and wife hitters
yeah, and shirtless.
and shirtless. So
Yeah.
they came here to fight.
They're in undershirts. Let's call them undershirts.
I cannot use the word.
And you know that when someone presents them, when someone presents themselves when people present themselves at your house at night in
Shirtless, man.
undershirts or shirtless even, and you can see things shining on their waist.
Ooh,
you know that something was up. So the guy went in, got his shiny object, and illuminated the place 37 times. Yeah. KR, come on, man.
Let there be light. He said, let it be light. Parted ways.
Yeah. And he
On the
and
anyway.
yeah. And he did that. Police went. Police they and the police found the car. Eventually they found them. Why do I tell this story? When the police went and checked the phone of the woman, none of the texts could be found. But it was only because they could find the texts on the other guy's phone. I don't know if it was the brother or one of the friends of the brother. That's how they were able to gather the information and confirm that she indeed called upon her brother to take care of business, to find a permanent solution for a temporary problem. So what that just goes to say how sometimes you have text messages, but you need to get back to the Favre case. You need to be. Sometimes you think, oh, I'm gonna delete the messages on my phone, but I think it's so much complicated. It's more complicated than that, and sometimes, especially if you're not aware, sometimes people are like ostriches. They think that if they can't see it, then it's not there.
Hmm.
But
I know some
if
people like that.
but if they find it, and in this case, apparently they're saying that they did find it, and are even claiming that Brett Favre withheld the texts, which means that as opposed to him failing to hand over the phone, would be something that could have been done unwillingly as well, or unintentionally. When you say that someone withheld the text, there is an element of intention there, and if that's the case, the consequences can be more harmful for Brett Favre and his statements.
Imagine if these texts, we don't know what these texts are, but we've discussed the previous text already. Those were crazy. Just as an example, guys, in one of these texts, he said, is there any way the media can find out where the money came from and how much? That's what he sent to the correspond. I think it's one of the leading. Well, the person he sent it to was convicted for fraud.
Yeah.
So I think she got 1 year or 2 years or something like that. But that's the message that was sent. And
Yeah.
imagine if there are more missing. I don't think the missing ones are the ones that can close the case for them. But okay, let's see what they can find and what they
Yeah.
cannot find.
Yeah. Well, if he's saying that he didn't do anything wrong, that he requested transfers and the transfers were granted by the Mississippi uh, MDHS,
MDHS,
but
MHDS,
MHDS. But if this, if from the text they can extract that let's say he had a close connection with them, text messaging and things of that nature, then that can be very harmful because it can function as proof that he was aware that of the wrongdoings and decided to participate with the wrongdoings, the purposefully and intentionally. So yeah. So
It's time will tell. Time will tell because what this means will mean for the other lawsuit he has going with Shannon Sharp.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Shannon Sharp just signed 2 new deals. Will Shannon have to part ways with his funds in order to pay off the lawsuit.
Nah, man. I think that I'm not saying that Brett has the funds, but I'm saying with the missing funds, if someone can locate the missing funds, the case can be paid for with the people's money, just as it was intended to by.
He paid back. You paid already your part back. So
Yeah, this is you still it still
missing
didn't pay interest.
the interest, yes. That's 200,000, I think, something like that.
Yeah,
What
it's 200,000.
200 to 300.
It's
What?
200 to 3,000 more than he should have had.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, we'll see. We'll see, man. I don't understand why he doesn't pay back. If he wants his name removed from the case, why
Bec-
does
because the case will go on even if he pays it back.
mm,
The case will go on for sure because it's not a criminal. It's if there was wrongdoing, then the court will end. The best case scenario is that the court will say, yeah, we determine. So let's say if you pay now, you would still remain in the case, and at the end of the case, the court might say, okay, we acknowledge that, at least we establish that money has been misappropriated and that Brett Favre has is guilty of, guilty is the criminal court, is there's enough proof that he's been involved in the planning, etc. So based on that, we will we will oblige him to pay back 10,000, for example, or 100,000 or 200,000. Uh, and as we have already established that he paid it, he doesn't need to pay anything else. Something of that nature. But the case will need to reach a conclusion now.